Well, you're all in good voice. Will you join in this with me? I'm singing this very especially for Alan Trotter, because he's always asking us to sing it. It's a song written by Ron Kavanagh. Do you know him? In Ireland, yes. And it's a song that he wrote about the troubles in Ireland and about how until the communities came together, all the politicians in the world wouldn't be able to solve the problems. But there's that many conflicts in the world now, I think it could apply to anywhere. So it's called Reconciliation, and it's got an easy tooraloo chorus. So. When summertime is gone and autumn winds are threatening to blow all away, 'tis then love will be tested. Arm in arm we'll stand, side by side together, to face the common foe that would tear our love asunder. Tooraloo-ralay, tooraloo-ralay, oh, you fair weather friends, where are you now? I need you. Gone like the summer sun on a cold November morning, when hard times come around like dark and stormy weather. There's only you and I, my love, to shelter one another. Tooraloo-ralay, tooraloo-ralay, oh, there's a time to fight, and there's a time for healing, like the snow melts with the sun on a clear, bright April morning. Our fight has run its course. Now let us start to healing, and let us both embrace sweet reconciliation. Tooraloo-ralay, tooraloo-ralay, tooraloo-ralay,
For those of you, if there are any of you in here that haven't heard the wonderful Mr. Bob Fox, who was one of the founder members of the club. He wasn't actually. He came about halfway through the first night, and everybody thought, oh well, that's the end of that. My career in folk music. I'm pleased to say a very good friend of mine. Most of the kids call him Uncle Bob. In fact, Bob's your uncle, one of them calls him. And that is true, or was. Bob, put your hands together. For Bob Fox and Stuart Oakley.
What a great night, eh? Thank you. You know, when I first got my this thing on the floor, it's a tuner pedal, you know, and you switch it on and you switch it off, and all the lights come on, and it shows you when your guitar strings are exactly in tune. And it's great, but except you've got to be able to see it. And when I first got it, I had to lose loads of weight because I couldn't. See it if I stood back here, then I couldn't reach it and switch it up. When we first got together, Sue and I first got together in around about 1976-ish, and I'd been at college, and I'd started to go to the Chester's Folk Club. Who remembers the Chesters? Yeah, fantastic. And Terry and Eric and Frankie O'Neill and Eddie and Mick Elliott and quite a lot of the people that were around in those days, they took me under their wing. A bit more voice, please. We used to go on a Saturday before the folk club. We used to go to a pub in, I think it was in Seaburn or Roker, called the Royal Marine. Is Eddie gone now? He's gone. He's gone to bed, hasn't he? We used to go to this pub on a Saturday afternoon before the folk club, and it was like, I used to sit in the corner, just really quiet, because I was only young then, and these massive characters would just crack on all afternoon, and then would go and do the folk club, and I really owe them everything, really, because everything that I've done since has been based on that stuff that I learned back then. And of course, Frankie O'Neill, as you know, I was pleased to hear that he started to get mentioned a little bit earlier on tonight. Frankie was the man, really. He was the music hall. He was the music hall expert, and he taught me all about Joe Wilson. And so the two songs that Stu and I more or less stole from Frankie were the two that we're going to do tonight. The first one's called the Bonny Gateshead Lass. The Bonny Gateshead Lass, if you don't know the story, and I'm sure you do, but I'm going to tell you anyway, the Bonny Gateshead Lass is about a bloke, Joe Wilson himself apparently, who was very extrovert and very humorous on stage and very lively, but off stage, like a lot of us artists, very shy. And this shyness always held him back in matters of love, and so he wrote this song, the Bonny Gateshead Lass, about an experience he had one night in a pub in Gateshead. And the story goes that he was in this very crowded pub in Gateshead, and across the room he could see a lovely girl, and he decided he'd like to go over and introduce himself to this young girl using a few very carefully chosen words and phrases that he thought might strike up a conversation and that would then lead on to the development of a deep and meaningful relationship. But he's too shy to do it in front of everybody in the pub, so he decides the better thing to do is to wait until she goes to the ladies' toilet and follow her into the ladies' toilet and have a word with her in there. This was very common practice in Gateshead. Anyway, that's what happens. She gets up to go towards the toilet. He gets up to follow her. She's wearing a long dress that trails along the ground a little bit. He accidentally steps on the hem of the dress, pins it to the ground. She keeps on walking towards the toilet. He rips the dress off her back in front of everybody in this pub. It's a disaster. But actually, it's not a disaster, because she then immediately turns around and introduces herself to him with some very carefully chosen words and phrases. And it's the start of a wonderful relationship. A little bit more guitar, please. In fact, just turn it all up to 10, will you?
Yeah.
You all right there? So, the song's called The Bonny Gateshead Lass. In fact, when we were back in 1978, we actually made a long-playing record together. Yeah, and we called it Nout's a Good'll Pass, and that's a line from this song. Back in those days, of course, there was no BBC Radio 2 Folk Awards or anything like that, so we couldn't get one of them. But we did get Melody Maker's Folk Album of the Year in 1978. Fantastic achievement for a pair of 12-year-olds, I thought. So this is the Bonny Gateshead Lass, and at the end we play a little tune called Elsie Marley, another fantastic female character. I'll warrant you've never seen me, lass, a name I cannot mention, for fear you'll gan and tell her how I like her, so I do. Why, it's just for lads and lasses for to whisper their affection. The bonniest lass in Gateshead's bonny face has bothered me. Try it. The bonniest lass in Gateshead's bonny face has bothered me. Now the first time I saw her, I thought I didn't know her, but I'm sure I'd seen her face before. I couldn't think of where. Her blue eyes met mine in passing up the high street in the morning, and her look was so entrancing that me heart was mine nae mair. Her look was so entrancing that me heart was mine nae mair. All right, he's got it. I didn't see her for a week, and then one night at the bridge end, while I strumped upon a gown, and the devils had come away. Now she told us I was clumsy, and I said that I was sorry, and I humbly begged her pardon. I was licked for what to say. I humbly begged her pardon. I was licked for what to say. So I walked on by her side, just as if I had a right to do. The conversation first was shy, but then it turned first class. We talked about the weather, and she mentioned that her father was a puddler down at Hawks's. Oh, me bonny Gateshead lass. What was he? A puddler down at Hawks's. Oh, me bonny Gateshead lass. Yeah, you've got that right one, haven't you? And she mentioned, confidentially, that our uncle was a grocer, and our mother's father's cousin was a fiddler on the shore. Then she talked so nice and friendly, and she looked both sweet and pleasant. I thought I'd never seen a lass so charming like before. I thought I'd never seen a lass so charming like before. She says her mother keeps a shop. She sells hot pies and candy, and her brother, he's a cobbler in the high part of the town. Now she was a dressmaker, and we got on so well together. I blessed I'd been so awkward as to stand upon a gown. I blessed I'd been so awkward as to stand upon a gown. Well, I made her laugh and slap me lug, talking lots of nonsense. But bless you, when you're courting, man, there's nought so good'll pass. I asked her, would she be me lass, and I'd take her out on Sunday. And to my delight, she says, I might be bonny Gateshead lass. To my delight, she says, I might be bonny Gateshead. So when we made this album, Melted Little Pass, we promoted the album by going on tour with a couple of really important people that were important back then. We went on tour with the Richard Linda Thompson Band, didn't we? And then the following year, we went on tour with Ralph McTell. And Ralph McTell was a big cheese back then. His song "The Streets of London" was really famous. And at the end of every gig, he used to finish with "The Streets of London" as a request, because everybody requested "The Streets of London." And I remember saying to him once in the hotel, "Do you never get sick of singing "The Streets of London"?" And he said, "No, but I often get sick of people saying, do you never get sick of singing "The Streets of London"?" Because we were, at that time, we were being asked all the time to sing this next one. It was a song that stuck with me as well. For all of those years, it's a song called "Sally Wheatley." Yes. And I remember, like I said, he said, Ralph said to me, "That's the biggest compliment that anybody can give you, is to ask you to sing a song, to request a song like that." So from that moment on, whenever anybody asked us to do Sally Wheatley, we did "Streets of London." So anyway, Sally Wheatley, you know the story. This is Joe Wilson's song about his shyness. Really, it is about his shyness around women. So Joe Wilson goes to the local village dance. The love of his life is there. Her name is Sally Wheatley. He spends all evening trying to pluck up the courage to ask her to dance. Never manages to do it. This other fellow that's there called Charlie Black, he asks her to dance and she dances with him all night. And then she walks home with him and then they get engaged to be married. So poor old Joe, he loses the love of his life because he didn't have the gumption to ask her up to dance. And this is I really, really have to thank Frankie O'Neill for this one, because it's a strange story, because we recorded this using this tune that Frankie used to sing. And loads and loads of other people have covered it as well since then, this version that we do. The Dubliners made it really famous as well. And so I went back to Alex Glasgow's recordings, because Frankie said it was Alex Glasgow's song. And I listened to the version that Alex Glasgow actually wrote, that Frankie thought he was singing. And Frankie had actually misheard the tune. And in so doing, he'd really improved it massively. And at the end of this, I might just sing you the original tune, but Frankie's version was fantastic, and this is it. I hope you've enjoyed the evening, and I think you should put your hands together to Terry and Eric for sorting this out. And oh dear me, what am I gonna do? Sally's taken me heart away completely, and I'll never get it back, 'cause she gans with Mr. Black, and they say he's gone to marry Sally Wheatley. Now I'm most depressed and sad, when I once was blithe and glad. I could trip about the town, both trim and neatly. I was happy night and morn, but of all such joys I'm shorn, since I fell so deep in love with Sally Wheatley. Come on. And oh dear me, what am I gonna do? Sally's taken me heart away completely, and I'll never get it back, 'cause she gans with Mr. Black, and they say he's gone to marry Sally Wheatley. No, I've never seen such a lass, and I know she liked the glass. She could toss a pot of whiskey over sweetly. Well, it's right to take a drop if you know just when to stop. That was just the very way with Sally Wheatley. And oh dear me, what am I gonna do? Sally's taken me heart away completely, and I'll never get it back, 'cause she cans with Mr. Black, and they say he's going to marry Sally Wheatley. And how I felt I never know, the first time I Sally saw, in a threesome reel she hopped about so lately, and I might have had a chance if I'd asked her up to dance, but I was shy to speak to Sally Wheatley. And oh dear me, what am I gonna do? Sally's taken me heart away completely, and I'll never get it back, 'cause she's gone to Mr. Black, and they say he's going to marry Sally Wheatley. And so as often is the case, you'll find others in your place if you didn't shove a heed and fettle Wheatley. For I'd scarcely turned me back when there was Mr. Black. He was jigging round the room with Sally Wheatley. And oh dear me, what am I gonna do? Sally's taken me heart away completely, and I'll never get it back, 'cause she dance with Mr. Black, and they say he's going to marry Sally Wheatley. No, he must have made it right when he said I am that night. After work, dressed up, he goes to see her neatly. There's great danger in delay, or I wouldn't be sad today. If I had a heart, I'd break it for Sally Wheatley. And oh dear me, what am I gonna do? Sally's taken me heart away completely, and I'll never get it back, 'cause she comes with Mr. Black, and they say he's going to marry Sally Wheatley. So I'm most depressed and sad, when I once was blithe and glad. I could trip about the town, both trim and neatly. I was happy night and morn, but of all such joys I'm shorn, since I fell so deep in love with Sally Wheatley. Come on. And oh dear me, what am I gonna do? Sally's taken me heart away completely, and I'll never get it back, 'cause she comes with Mr. Black, and they say he's going to marry Sally Wheatley. They say he's going to marry Sally Wheatley.
Bonny folks.
Big hand, if you would, for to finish the night, the Doonans.
You might remember us doing this many times at the club, years and years ago, but we don't remember it. So it's new to us. So this is a new number called The Star of the County Down. From Bantry Bay up to Derry Quay, from Galway to Dublin town, no maid I've seen like the sweet Colleen that I met in the County Down. Near Banbridge town, near the county down, one morning in July, for a morning green came a sweet Colleen. She smiled as she passed me by. She looked so sweet from her 2 white feet to the sheen of her little brown hair. Oh, such a coaxing elf, I had to shake myself to make sure I was really there. Come on. And from Bantry Bay up to Derry Quay, and from Galway to Dublin town, oh no maid I've seen like the sweet Colleen that I met in the county. And again, oh, from Bantry Bay up to Derry Quay, and from Galway to Dublin town, no maid I've seen like the sweet Colleen that I met in the county. As she almost sped, I shook my head and I gazed with a feeling queer. Oh, and I said, says I, to a passer-by, who's the maid with the nut brown hair? Oh, he smiled at me and he said, says he, that's the gem of Ireland's crown. Young Rose McCann, from the banks of the Bank, she's the star of the county. Bantry Bay up to Derry Quay, and from Galway to Dublin town, no maid I've seen like the sweet Colleen that I met in the county down. At the harvest fair, she'll be there. I'm dressed in my Sunday clothes, or in my shoes on right, or my hat cocked right, or a smile from a brown rose. No pipe I'll smoke, no horse I'll yoke, to my plough turns a rust-colored brown, or to my charming bride, by my own fireside sits the star of the county down. From Bantry Bay up to Derry Quay, and from Galway to Dublin town, no maid I've seen like the sweet Colleen that I met in the county. And again, come on. Oh, from Bantry Bay up to Derry Quay, and Galway to Dublin town, no maid I've seen like the sweet Colleen that I met in the county down.
Terry asked us to do this, but we haven't played together for must be 7 years or something. Yeah. We're trying to decide what to do, so we just thought we'd find some easy ones. Anyway, this one came to mind. This is a song I always loved when I was growing up as a teenager, and you'll all know it, so if you want to join in, please do. There is a house in New Orleans they call Rising Sun, and it's been for the ruin of many a poor boy. And God, I know I'm one. My mother, she was a tailor. She sewed my new blue jeans, and my father was a gambling man down in New Orleans. Now the only thing a gambler needs is a suitcase and a trunk, and the only time, oh, that he's satisfied is when he's all drunk. Oh, mother, tell your children not to do what I have done. Oh, spend your life all in sin and misery, in the house of the rising sun.
And it's still going.
Whilst that was our last number, there's obviously something inevitable that's going to happen. So, ladies and gentlemen, can I leave you in the very incapable hands of our MC for the evening?
Been a smashing night, really. Can only thank every one of you. I think we should give a special round of applause to Sean in the corner. He wasn't actually sitting in the corner, he's just sucking his thumb now. It's just, well done, Sean. I did actually notice Mr. Ron Angus had a sort of one of them smiles, you know what I mean? Like, please, it wasn't my turn.
In fact, can everybody just get up on the stage? It might make it easier.
Miner's life is like a sailor aboard a ship to cross the waves. Every day his life's in danger, steady fast, just being brave. Watch the rocks, they're falling daily. Careless miners always fade. Keep your hand on your wages and your eye upon the scale. Union miners stand together. Do not heed the owner's tale. Keep your hand upon your wages and your eyes upon the scale. You've been docked and docked, my boys. You've been loaded two for one. What have you to show for working since the mining has begun? Worn out boots and worn out miners, and the children looking pale. Keep your hand upon your wages and your eye upon the scale. Oh, Union miners stand together. Do not heed the owner's tale. Keep your hand upon your wages and your eyes upon the scale.
So to finish, and in conclusion, keep this password in your mind. God provides for every worker when in union So stand like men and women and stand together, and victory for you'll prevail. Just keep your hand upon your wages and your eye upon the scale. Union miners stand together. Do not heed the owner's tale. Keep your hand upon your wages and your eye upon the scale. Oh, union miners stand together. Do not heed the owner's tale. Keep your hand upon your wages and your eye upon the
Thank you very much. Thank you. What a treat. What an absolute treat. We are so privileged to have so many talented friends, aren't we? Thank you all for coming. And let's do it all again for a 60th, eh? Yes. We can sit in a little corner over there, those of us who were left. Thank you, Sean. Thank you everybody who sang. And most of all, thank you to you for turning up.